Here we go. Hey guys, welcome back to Resistance Chicks. We're your hosts, Leah and Michelle. Isn't it the best day ever? Can you hear me now?
Yeah, they can hear us now, I think.
We have a big show.
Today is 8/18/2019. You missed all of our flubs to start with. On Facebook, Gary Hackman says, a gun is just a tool. It's the sick people who use them that's the problem. Now, I did miss a comment on Hong Kong back on Periscope, and I wanted to get to that from Refocus Zone. Says, good clips. Unfortunately for the Hong Kong people, China will never ever let go of their control there.
Don't ever say never.
I would say
never say never.
God can move in miraculous ways. I think that you're right. China won't ever let go, but I think God could chop off its hands.
So here's the article I was looking for.
Stronghold, I should
Boris
say.
Johnson has announced the expanded police stop and search, 20,000 new police officers and 10,000 extra prison places. I guess that means rooms or something. Prime Minister Boris Johnson is to expand the police's powers of stop and search across the country in a bid to tackle the wave of violent, particularly knife crime, related crime. Writing an article for the Mail on Sunday, Mr. Johnson announced that a pilot scheme which provides police with greater powers to search people for knives would be rolled out nationwide.
But why do they have to have a scheme to stop people for knives? Because they're not doing that here in the United States. Why are they not doing it here in the United States, Leah?
Because we don't have this.
We don't have a knife problem. Why don't we have a knife problem, Leah?
Because we have guns.
Thank you. Well said. Shawnee says that Tracy is sitting here with a broken ankle. I forgot. Pray for Tracy because she did break her ankle. He says, don't believe that she did it falling off the bus. She did it trying to kick me. You're a liar and you know where liars go. Pray for your wife. And actually, Tracy says that he has been very, very helpful, doting on her and waiting on her hand and foot. Get it? Hand and foot.
Yeah.
That's funny.
That was funny. I get it. Just don't get hand and foot and mouth disease.
My job is to make your street safe.
So there's your propaganda. Hang on, there's your propaganda piece for the day.
Okay, but that's really great if it's real. I mean, they're really going to start empowering the police in the UK. I'm all for it. I'm totally behind it. I think, you know, it's interesting that what we're going to show in a little bit is Nigel kind of talking about, you know, more police. But this comment here from Steve on Facebook, he says, and this is really, I've never heard anybody say this before. It's so right on. If guns were the problem with the amount that are out there, they'd know. If guns were really the problem, there are so many guns out there. You would be hearing about gun attacks all the time. You're hearing about knife attacks in the UK all the time because nobody is allowed to defend themselves. I had a dream last night, because I always carry my knife, that I was carrying this really long switchblade. It was about this long, unopened. So, I mean, opened in my, it's like practically pulling my pants down. It's so heavy. And then I was like, wait a minute, it's illegal. And in my dream, I'm thinking it's illegal to carry a knife that's longer than 4 inches. And I'm like, I could get arrested. I probably shouldn't carry this thing around. But in my dream, I needed it for self-defense. And so I'm having to weigh, and we find this in Sweden. We find this in, I don't know, in the UK, are you guys allowed? I don't think you're even allowed to have mace in the UK.
Pepper spray is no go in Finland, I think.
You have no means to defend yourself.
I think in the UK you can have pepper spray.
Okay.
But I know in Finland I don't believe you can, because the girls, was she going to be arrested? It's pretty crazy.
All right, carry on. I'm sorry.
This is the policing minister.
Have you worked out, presumably you have at this stage, where those extra police officers are actually going to go? I mean, where are they most needed right now?
No, so that's one of the conversations that we'll be having with police and crime chief constables across the... So the stage looks like this. So we're at about 123,000 police officers at the moment. There was a plan already afoot from £1 billion of extra funding last year to recruit another 3,500 across the country. We're now putting in place the launch in September, the next wave to get the 20,000 on top of that over the next 36 months. So between then and now, we have to have a conversation about the deployment of those police officers and critically what they're going to be doing. Because what the public want to see is a restored sense of governance of the public realm, right? Alongside some of the enhancements to stop and search that we're putting in place today to deal with the big rise in knife crime that we really want to address assertively, we do need to address this general sense among the public that they want more reassurance from their police officers.
And do you kind of concede that you know, extra police officers is certainly a good thing, and many people within the police and elsewhere will be relieved to see that? Although, first off, it may not quite even get us back to the peak in 2010. I mean, we're not necessarily even going to hit that peak
So, and that's the key there. From what I understood, you guys, like the lefty people, or maybe even the conservatives, I don't know who in your government just slashed a bunch of police officers. And then now you don't have any, your crimes are not, like 13% of crimes ever get resolved.
I know. I'm curious about this because he's talking about 20,000 and an extra 20,000 on top of that. Are they going to increase the court system as well? Because you have to be able to process and punish these people. Mm-hmm. And then we've got to have prisons to hold them, because what we're seeing in the UK is they may be arrested and then they're just let off the hook. Right. So it's not enough just to have more police, I don't think. I mean, I think it is really important because we need to be able to investigate these rapes and the knife crimes, and they're trying preventative measures because they think if they can do stop and search and get knives off of people, then that person will be like, oh, can't commit that crime, can't hurt that person, I don't have a knife to do it. It doesn't work that way, and that's the issue.
No, I mean, seriously, what was I reading about in history? Oh, well, here's the thing. If people want to kill people, they're going to kill people.
Exactly.
Lots of people. They can go in and slaughter whole communities. All right, so this was Nigel Farage last week on Judge Jeannie. So I'm going to play this.
Everybody that I know says, I thought this Brexit thing passed in 2016, which was an indication that Trump was going to be elected. What's going on in the UK?
What's going on is our Parliament does not respect the will of the people. They've been trying to frustrate Brexit. Our previous Prime Minister, Mrs May, who is easily forgotten, just did not have the leadership skills or the courage to deliver it. Boris has got 80 days. 80 days until our deadline. Halloween is the day we're due to leave the European Union, trick or treaty. So we're going to find out.
I want to know how that date got chosen, by the way.
Donald Trump is a big believer in Brexit.
So he has a sense of humor.
Because he believes in nation states. He does not believe in globalism, and he feels that very, very strongly. So let's see. The one thing I will tell you is that relationships between our two countries have fallen very, very badly. It's crazy. We're the biggest investor in America. You're the biggest investor, in us. We're the linchpins of NATO. We share intelligence. There's so much good stuff between our countries, but we now have a chance with a new Prime Minister. If he gets Brexit done, we can then start to talk about a proper trade deal with the USA and getting our relationship back to where it needs to be. But does Boris have the courage to deliver Brexit? We're going to find out.
Well,
we're going to find out.
We are going to find out. And I'm actually kind of really excited about this. I told Mom I want to have a party. Like one of our old-fashioned parties. Yeah. Like we used to have parties back when we were fun people. And not so weighed down with busyness. But I think we should, it's for celebrating, the Reformation, for celebrating Brexit, for celebrating our new deck that will finally be ready. I think that's what we should do. I think that'd be really fun. All right. So, let's see. Britbot says, Michelle, in the UK, if someone contacts the police in an emergency, they are invariably told that they won't turn out because it's a civil matter. So maybe what you're saying is if we have more police in the UK, maybe they will turn out? Or do you think that more police won't actually affect that? And somebody did say that pepper spray is illegal in the UK. You have literally no means whatsoever to protect yourself in the UK, which is why I'm not coming.
That's so stupid.
Like, I'm not coming until I'm allowed to carry a knife.
Or mace.
Or mace or something. Yeah, pepper spray. Now, I got a great idea. Essential oils. So here's what I'm going to do. Oregano oil is not a pepper. So when I come to the UK, I'm bringing my bottle of oregano oil and an empty little spritzer. Okay. And it's not a pepper. I could put some cinnamon oil in there as well. There's no pepper in there. So if I'll just tell them I had this, antibiotic spray that I had and I sprayed it in their face and they, whatever. That's a great idea. You should try that as well. Oregano oil, clove. Clove is not a pepper. Cinnamon is not a pepper. Essential oils, guys. Essential oils. You got to outthink the thinkers.
There you go. Boris Johnson allies say Supreme Court hasn't got time to block no-deal Brexit and only PM himself can stop it after Remainers threaten legal action. So there's a lot going on here. Burkow has threatened to not allow the no-deal prorogation. He says something about being a democracy.
the centre stage of the decision-making process on this important matter. That's simply not going to happen. It's just so blindingly obvious that it almost doesn't need to be stated, but apparently it does, and therefore I have done.
We like to think that we know. We know that you'll be interested.
So, I guess I'm going to explain this. What Boris Johnson can do is stop the session of Parliament. And this is done, it's been done in the past, in 2016, 2017, and then pick it back up again. You have to go through a whole...
My government has pursued a programme that has delivered stability, secure bus services.
You got to get real technical and real technical and oh, Burkow. Here we go. I just left it, but go ahead.
So forgive me because I don't remember who sent us this, but it's
Order!
so great. Order! I couldn't find it, but it was right here the whole time. Okay, I don't remember who sent it, but thank you.
Campaigner Gina Miller has planned to stop no deal through the Supreme Court. With only 81 days to go, Brexiteers say the Supreme Court will not rule in time. And not only Boris Johnson can prevent no deal with MPs almost powerless, we'll see. Remainers have missed their chance to stop a no deal Brexit through the court. Sources close to the PM have declared bullishly today. With the UK's October 31st departure date from the EU, now only 81 or 80, how many days is it away now? It's close.
It keeps going down.
Any attempt to bind the government's hand
this is 74.
would take too long. 74 days. Okay. Boris Johnson's senior allies now believe the only person who can put a stop to Brexit is the Prime Minister himself. Gina Miller has vowed to challenge Brexit through the Supreme Court to prevent Johnson from suspending Parliament to secure a no deal. She assembled the same legal team that forced Theresa May to give MPs a vote on before triggering the Article 50 vote.
I literally have no patience for Gina Miller, like zero.
But now, number 10 aides believe Mrs. Miller has too little time to pull it off because of the slow-moving justice system. MPs are able to vote against no deal in the Commons, but this would not necessarily prevent it from happening. Pro-EU MPs can now only prevent no deal by trying to take control of the parliamentary timetable or calling a vote of no confidence. The timetable is controlled by the government, so this route would prove difficult, but Speaker John Burkow can grant emergency debates which can pave the way for a new law to stop no deal. And we know that Burkow is totally
puppet.
Well, and he is pro-EU, so he is not bipartisan in this. He literally will do anything in his power to stop Britain leaving. It's crazy how he has the power to do that.
We love you.
God bless you.
God bless. Remember, it's not just a conspiracy theory if it's actually the truth. Like, comment, and subscribe to Masfaith3 and Resistance Chicks. Ring the bell for notifications. Find us on Facebook. Follow us on Twitter. We love you. God loves you. God bless. Have a wonderful rest of your Sunday. Rest. Get in the Word. And we will see you back as soon as possible. Bye, guys.
Cold.